The place where we began is the beautiful valley of Kathmandu. And the people, 315 participants from 18 different countries, and 34% of them women. The structure, we had 3.5 days. We had 4 very powerful, very inspiring keynote addresses every day in the morning, which to me was the best breakfast. And we had 36 panel discussions. We had 80 panelists approximately, because we're still counting because there's a lot of changes. And we had 6-hour workshops, 12 of them in the last 3.5 days. And we had 6 one-hour coffee shops and clinics. Coffee clinics, interesting. And 2 book launches. So it's been a very, very intense 3.5 days. And you've all kept up the energy through all of this. Well, what are the messages and quotes when you think back at the whole conclave? The key messages are the evaluation should ultimately make a difference to the lives of people. This has been the theme of the conclave, and luckily sometimes you have conclaves where people meander around what is the core issue, but I think we had it in center and we kept coming back to that. And our jobs as evaluators is to be advocates in ensuring that the findings are utilized and move away from a very, very transactional relationship where we go in, do an evaluation, come out, and also to break the boundaries of the evaluators and program implementers and not talk like the we versus us, because ultimately the development issue is bigger than all of us. Good policy making is about identifying interventions that work in the most cost-effective way, and the traditional cost-effective cost-benefit analysis only captures components that can be monetized as well as quantified, and we need to move beyond that. And A.K. Shiv Kumar gave us some ideas on methodologies on that front. Equity-focused evaluation should be advocated with the commissioners and donors, regardless of whether the program is focused on equity or not, because that is the central issue. Now, we also heard of a lot of moving paradigms, evaluation being very scary and fearful to being learning, from being mandatory to being owned, but from being external evaluation to being an internalized evaluation. And some of you who attended Aru's and my session will understand why we have a two-way arrow there, because it feeds into each other. Designing at the end to designing at the start, supply-driven to being demand-driven, and rather than doing just evaluation, using evaluation. Now, what are the kinds of voices we heard? Here are some of the quotes which were there. I think, Catherine, you began by saying we need to measure what we treasure, right? And Priya has talked about small changes being insignificant to evaluators, but can be pretty transformative for women and communities. And what are the different versions of reality and whose reality should we give privilege to? Donna mentioned this, and of course, the session on Dr. Chambers had a long list of whose point of view. Rigor should not become rigor mortis. This is analysis leading to paralysis, Bill Parks. Community development should contribute to business development. Ravi Verma in a session on socially responsible businesses. And if you think education is expensive, try ignorance by Shiv. And randomization alone cannot assure good results by John. The name is not there, but that's from John in the morning. Now, what are the kind of emergent thoughts and themes? And my colleagues have left out a question mark. I'm not very sure all of them are emergent, but I think for some of us, these are emergent and new thoughts. But these are things I think we need to take forward. One is professionalization of the evaluation associations, linking them up, and the roles of the voluntary organizations in professional evaluation. Evaluation principles, strategies, and policies, equity-focused, feminist evaluation, visual data, using ICT effectively, and studying the complexity of the system before we design evaluations. Now, what's the way forward? I have 6 things to offer. One is that the conclave, we should treat it as a start of a conversation. We need to deepen it both online and offline, and through specific thematic as well as emerging areas. The second is that we need to market COE better. Chandni ji pointed this out, and that's a wake-up call for the COE members, that we need to market COE better. We need to market the value of COE membership, and we need to build vibrancy in a region which is very vibrant. This is a happening region, and as Dr. Chambers was saying, this is a very happening time, and we need to build on our diversity and expand. Thirdly, I think we need to work on developing policies, standards, and ethics around evaluation, and more importantly, look at institutionalizing evaluation within government, and I was very happy Mr. Pokral spoke about how he's going to look at evaluation getting entrenched within the government, as well as large donors, as well as small donors, not just large donors. And lastly, we need to help set standards by I mean the evaluation community need to help set standards and constantly raise them by not only demonstrating but also recognizing, showcasing high quality, high impact work on a constant basis. And sorry, there's one last but a very important thing from the perspective of COE is that our friends and colleagues from Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bhutan have not been very strongly engaged with the main COE, and we really with open arms welcome how do we collaborate, how do we work closely, and as a South Asian community, how do we bring you into the mainstream of our conversations, and how do we help you promote evaluation and good quality evaluation within your context. Oh, there's one more. Sorry. Okay, this is already an agenda of the COE, which is about building capacities on very specific areas through two things I've added, which is through innovative ways, because classroom training is not the only one, webinar is not the only one. We've learned about very many techniques and technologies here, and how do we do it in scale? I think that's a crucial question. So ladies and gentlemen, that's my suggestion as a ways forward. And if you found the technology jazzy and interesting, don't blame me. It's my colleague Siddhi Mankar who is behind it. She put all the words in my mouth. Thank you very much. With that, I would like to invite Tricia Wynn from IDRC to share her views from IDRC perspective.